So this is the month, November 30th, we've got the Cybertruck delivery event in Austin, Texas, and the stock is gonna move, maybe in one direction or another, or it may go sideways, but we're gonna look at some of the ways it can move in big ways and little ways and no ways. I'm Brian, welcome to my Tesla Weekend. Joining me, as sometimes, is Herbert from Brighter with Herbert. Check him out. You got to check him out. He gets on some absolutely breathtakingly huge interviews. Some of the people you get. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Astronauts? I don't know, man. You tell me. I've never been to space, so I'm honored to be on your channel when you're able to get me on. So, Cybertruck's coming out this month. Have you heard?
I've heard.
It's the rumor, the big event, November 30th. The stock could move. It absolutely could have a big move one way or another. What do you think we will learn on the 30th that is one big element, the biggest element that could move the stock?
Well, okay. So first of all, my bias is that stock, guessing what the stock's going to do the day after an event is useless. It's not important, as we all know. I will say that almost every single product demo that's been done does not move the stock. It doesn't move the stock. It's almost always earnings when they report increase in auto sales, and then you'll see the Tesla stock go up, and it's consistent over the next several months. But product demos, AI demos, they don't necessarily move the stock. It's just that you and I get excited. We see the potential, but investors take time to understand if it's something really, truly important or not. So it'd be fun exercise though, because you did make me think what could move the stock after the Cybertruck delivery event. And I will tell you that if I see something incredible, like this car can float in water, it will be the safest car ever. And they showed that demo. It's bulletproof. Maybe it's got some other whiz bang thing that just shocks everybody. I still don't think any of that will move the stock.
Oh, I will say that the S and X unveiling, I don't recall if that resulted in any bump. The 3 and Y, I know the Y didn't. I don't recall on the 3. AI days, I didn't move it an inch. Battery day didn't move it at all. Autonomy day did nothing. But the Cybertruck event caused a lot of turmoil in the stock the first time at the unveiling. But I think that's because it was so shocking and left a lot of people, myself included, in disbelief. What the hell is this thing? And it took me probably 3-4 weeks to warm up to it at all. And now, of course, I love it. Love it to bits. What if they come out and say, it's out, it's 200,000? That's going to move the stock.
I don't think so. Okay, really? I got to give that some thought. The reason why I say I don't think so is because they've already sandbagged the expectation. It's very low sales numbers. Production is limiting it. And he's already said it's going to be very low, right? 200,000 sales, maybe once it's got to scale, but don't expect a lot in the next, certainly not Q4, certainly not in the first half of next year, and maybe the last quarter of next year we finally get to the scale. So even if they say 200,000, will that move the stock? Because there's going to be plenty of buyers to buy 200,000. If they say 50,000, that's the one I was going to say, would that move the stock? Because it's going to shock everybody. Oh my God, this is amazing. It's so priced well with tremendous value. I still don't know if it's going to move the stock. I thought about it a little bit. I thought that's the only thing that could possibly move it is a ridiculously low price. But again, the same explanation. The next year, 2 years, we're still only going to have a set number of cars that's already been expected. That's not going to change depending on the price.
Now, I would say that if it came out and they said it's 50,000, I would say it would move the stock, but I don't know in which direction. I think there are Wall Street and
Right.
institutional investors who would say, oh my gosh, they're not going to
Margin.
make hay while the
Right.
sun shines. This was a bad idea. And retail who would say this is the best thing ever. I don't know which way it would move. And that's what
Interesting.
we've seen over and over when people have said, oh, I think I saw a gentleman who said, I am confident that people like Brian and James Stevenson are leaked information on deliveries just so that they can manipulate the stock. Well, we all show our math. We all approach the problem in very different ways. Troy's got his own method, and none of us use the same
Yeah.
metrics, really. And we all come out sometimes more accurate than others. And why? Even if I knew exactly how many it would be, it doesn't help you trade. And I don't want you trading. I want you holding. If you believe in the company, hold. If you don't, please don't. Definitely don't buy the stock. As far as the 200,000 production, I am confident that is a sandbag number because Tesla loves to sandbag numbers. They say, no. Elon always promises the moon. No, Shanghai for years said capacity 450,000 or greater than 450. They were cranking out 80,000 a month, and the quarterly report still said more than 450,000. I mean, that is more than 450,000 a year for sure. And I think we will see, I think 200,000 is a way of tempering Wall Street's expectations so that if for some reason the Cybertruck is not as successful as you and I'm sure Elon believe it will be, that at a minimum they could still clear 200,000. That would put them in fourth place, almost third place, probably pull enough sales from Ram that they might be third place instead of fourth, but it would still be very respectable sales. And even with the new, unfortunately slightly more complicated unibody stamped cabin system, it's still, I believe, going to be a simpler truck to build than the competition. And I'm just very excited to see the price and specs, and I'm curious why we haven't.
Yeah. So the price, it's what I was going to say about the price is that, even if they come up with some number, everybody realizes and knows, I think, that it's just the number of that day. And it could change in 3 months from now or whatever, because it's very common for car manufacturers to say they reveal a car and they go, it's going to be this price. It's going to be 60,000. But by the time that they actually deliver it, it's a lot higher. And, Tesla might have done the same thing. They promised the moon, but then they come back with a higher price. But they can lower it as they scale, as they kind of be able to go beyond the initial sales of the rabid fans. But back to, could the Cybertruck impact the stock? I will mention that my brother, who had no interest in Tesla, despite me being 8 years of just can't stop talking Tesla and how great it is. When he saw the Cybertruck, that's when he started to invest in the company. That was during the reveal. It was the thing that made him make us realize that this is going to be a big deal. Now, again, I think that you're gonna, and that I want to talk about the difference between retail and institutional investors. So when you see retails get excited, I don't think that pops a stock, but over time they'll start seeing more and more buying it. But institutional is what needs to happen. There needs to be a flood of institutional investors right all at the same time in that first week. For some reason, I don't see that this is going to get any of them moving, no matter what happens with tech or price.
I would agree. We've seen the investor day that was held earlier this year. They brought in institutional investors and analysts from all over, and I was confident that some of them would actually be able to grasp what they were being told. And when the camera would pan across the audience, they looked bored. They looked uninterested. They looked like they didn't know what they were being told. And that's very disappointing. Yeah. That's very unfortunate because these are the people who need to understand it. You're right. If there was a big surge in retail enthusiasm tomorrow, so many of us are already all in. We don't have any more dry powder to throw at it. But the institutionals, Alexandra Mertz, who's been on my show a couple times and your show every week, pointed out that the percentage of institutional holdings in Tesla is very low for a mega cap, meaning they are all underweight in Tesla, and not all of them, but it's something like a normal mega cap would have 50-60% institutional investors, and Tesla's at more like 30%. So there's a lot of money, and I think part of it is because the S&P 500 inclusion came so late that this company was just dramatically overvalued, and maybe it was, but they didn't want to get in, and they can't find the right opportunity. So hopefully that opportunity arises, but I think you're right. An event like this is unlikely to move it. So here it is. We're right down to it. I'm going to put you on the spot. And I think what I hear you saying is the next day, the stock will kind of go the same.
If anything, I would bet it goes down. That's just the way it works. There's the excitement, and so before the event, there's people who think it's going to move, and so they raise this up. The actual event, it'll go down despite amazing information, amazing presentation, amazing product.
So it'll be a classic buy the rumor, sell the news. And we do see that a lot. We see that in the week before earnings comes out, the week before deliveries are announced, the stock goes up, up, up. And then we get a number that beats Wall Street, and it crashes. I don't understand you people. But I think the bigger thing is whatever it does in those next 5 to 10 trading days is irrelevant.
It's irrelevant.
Yep. Well, even the 1 year horizon, it's meaningless. And if it has a big jump or a big dip, it doesn't mean it will stick. All right. Well, I wish to disagree, but I don't think I can. I think you've convinced me. You've made a believer out of me. So in the comments, what do you guys think the stock is going to do? Is it going to go up or down? Is it going to trade flat? Let us know, because that's the only way we can get, in my case, smarter, and in his case, brighter. So check him out. He's awesome. You guys know. I'm sure you'll already watch him. But for everybody else, like, subscribe, do the usual things, and stay tuned, stay juicy. And I can't wait to hear from you, clever robots. Perhaps from Texas? We'll see.